What's up, everyone? It's DSP. You guys broke me down after getting hundreds of requests. Yes, literally, I got hundreds of requests. I'm going to address the announcement of Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which, like I said, everyone's asking me, what's your opinion? What do you think? Are you hyped? First of all, wow. I mean, this is the game that no one thought was ever going to be made. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 came out in 1999. And since then, we haven't seen another one of the Versus Series games. Now, keep in mind, there was Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. That was a little bit of the same, but I don't want to officially call it like the series of Versus games, because the Versus games really started with X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Then you had Marvel vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And that's kind of like the official line. Yeah, Tatsunoko was kind of like a side game, but it really, I don't think, has been accepted as like an official game in the Versus series from Capcom. But anyway, a decade in the making, you might ask yourself, what the hell took Capcom so long to make this game? And the answer is, it wasn't that there wasn't demand for it. It wasn't that they didn't think it would sell. Simply put, Capcom did not renew the license to use Marvel characters back in 1999-2000, and when it expired, Activision actually picked up the license. So for a while there, Activision was the exclusive company able to make games, and that's why you saw games like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. And so they did their thing, but now finally the license, I guess, either expired or Capcom made a special deal with Marvel to be able to use the Marvel characters again, and now here we are. Pretty damn cool. It's been a long time coming, and if you guys have not been, seriously into Street Fighter like I was, let me tell you that Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was, and to some extent still is, the most hype fighting game ever created. I mean, first of all, just the appeal of the game, having all of your favorite Marvel superheroes fighting against Capcom's best from all different genres of gaming. It's not just, fighting games. You got Mega Man and other characters in there. But also the fact that it was some of the most fast and intense gaming of any fighter ever. I mean, it was pretty much the fastest fighter ever made. You had characters like Magneto, who were so quick with their wave dashes and all kinds of crazy shit. Sentinel with crazy air juggles and unfly combos, unblockables. And of course, the bullshit that was Cable with his instant Hyper Viper beam that he could do 3 fucking times and kill your whole goddamn team. But really, the appeal of the game was that it was just such a combination of different things. I still remember when the game was new, a lot of people played the game like very defensively. They ran away a lot. As the game progressed, most people started playing a rushdown team, which basically means you're constantly attacking your opponent. It's not really about defense or counter hitting. It's about just constantly rushing, getting a combo, doing an infinite and juggling the shit out of them and just destroying the opposition. So yeah, I mean, now that this is back, this is crazy. I mean, it's going to be, I can just feel it now, that when this game comes out, the hype that's kind of been missing a little bit from the competitive fighting game community, especially the Street Fighter community, seems like it might come back, which could be a good and a bad thing. But, I mean, it's awesome. You announced 6 characters so far. You got Wolverine, you've got Iron Man, you've got the Hulk on the Marvel side, and then on the Capcom side, you've got Ryu, you've got Morrigan, and you've got Chris Redfield, which is really fucking cool, because it's the Resident Evil 5 Chris Redfield, and now that the graphics have advanced to the point where, it's going to be pretty fucking badass looking. If you see the trailer, go, if you haven't seen it, go watch it right now. It's pretty damn good. A little disappointing because they don't show gameplay. They're just showing a big cinematic fight between these characters, but, we'll get to see gameplay eventually. But that's awesome that they're, again, right away they're showing you it's not just going to be fighting game characters. We're going to throw other stuff in there that's really going to catch your interest. And that's pretty cool. The couple things that I am a little bit worried about is, number one, it looks like the game might be cel-shaded, similar to how Tatsunoko vs. Capcom was. And I really hope they don't go that route, because to me, cel-shading is just a gimmick. It's a way to make a game look a little bit more artistic or different than other games. And I myself am a fan of like the old hand-drawn art from like Super Turbo. That's the best art of any fucking game. Or even Third Strike. That hand-drawn, it was really good, high quality. Now, obviously this game is 3D, so you can't have hand-drawn art. But if they could maybe go the route of like Street Fighter 4, where the characters are a little bit cartoony, but they can be serious too, I think that would be cool. But the cel shading, I see where they're coming from, why they're doing it, because if the comic book character, obviously if they cel shade, it might look cool, it might look like you're actually reading a comic book, but I don't know. I really don't know how I feel about that. The other thing I'm worried about is that if you played Marvel vs. Capcom 2, you knew this, there's 56 characters in the game, but really there's probably only about 20 that are even worthy of being picked and playing in competitive play. The rest are cool or little side add-ons and things to have those characters, and a lot of the neatest ones too, like Jill Valentine was actually in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but she's not very good compared to the overpoweredness of some of the other characters, and I'm really hoping that at least in this game they should try to balance it more. I think Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is just an attempt to throw all the 2D fucking sprites from all the fighting games together, rather than really concerning themselves with, gee, let's balance everything and make sure that each fighter is equal or competitive in a tournament match. So I really hope that they do that. They've announced 30 characters, which is cool. I mean, that's good. It's still going to be a big roster. It's a little disappointing when you had a game like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 that had 56 characters, and now this one seems like it's only going to have 30. But again, if they take out 26 characters that suck dick and are horrible in a competitive match, then I don't give a shit. As long as, you have 30 characters, but most of them are worthy of being selected and played, that's pretty cool. Who do I hope would be in the game? I mean, the cool thing now is that 10 years have passed. A lot has happened in the Marvel Universe. So just think about it. You could have, not just Hulk, but Planet Hulk. Or, you could have Norman Osborn as, the final boss because, he was the guy who was kind of, the hero for a while. He was in charge of the government, and then all of a sudden, he became a villain again. Put some of the Thunderbolts in there. Of course, they're not called the Thunderbolts anymore, but that would be cool, having some of those crazy side characters in there. I mean, I understand they're going to probably put the staple. You'll probably have Captain America. You'll probably have Storm. You'll probably have a lot of the favorite Magneto. But I hope that they really also put some newer characters in there that someone might not necessarily recognize right off the bat, but they're some of the cooler characters. I think one of the biggest requests that I've heard is Deadpool. Everyone wants Deadpool in this. But if you're going to put Deadpool in, listen to me, Capcom. If you're going to put Deadpool in, put the real Deadpool in. Don't put in fucking Deadpool from Wolverine Origins. That was fucking horrible. Put in the real, smart aleck, big mouth Deadpool. That would be fucking cool. The merc with the mouth. But yeah, the announcement's exciting. I think everyone's pumped. This is opening up a whole bunch of epic questions, like, are we going to see Magneto rushing down people with crazy wave dashes and infinite combos again? Are we going to see rematches of some of the most epic gaming moments ever, like Sanford Kelly against Duck Doe at Evolution? Is Justin Wong ever going to look like he's older than 14? I mean, these are the questions that are begging answers, and we waited 10 years to really address them, and now finally we're going to be able to do that. The release date, for anyone who hasn't heard yet, it's either going to be very late 2010 or early 2011. I really have no confidence this game's coming out in 2010, so probably I would say look for it in spring of 2011, similar to how Super Street Fighter 4 is coming out right now. In a year's time from now, I bet that's when they'll have Marvel vs. Capcom 3. But please, Capcom, don't fucking put the game on Wii exclusively. You have a nice, beautiful HD consoles. Use that. Use the graphical capabilities. Use that processing power to throw 500 fucking things on the screen at once. Don't go to the Wii and have to dumb it down and have to look cartoony like Tatsunoko vs. Capcom did. I really would not like that. And then the last thing is, I'm really wondering if the gameplay is going to be more like Marvel vs. Capcom 1 or Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Because Marvel 1, for anyone who's never played it, it's a lot different than Marvel 2. It was only 2-on-2, not 3-on-3 teams. And the tagging was different. The countering out was different. There were double team attacks that were kind of overpowered if you had the right teams. It was more of a very heavily based one-on-one fighter. Like you'd fight one guy against one guy. Marvel 2 just became a total flip when they made the assist attacks infinite. So you could infinitely call out those assists, and the risk being that, if they get hit, they take massive damage. But it was, it's such a different atmosphere. You have fucking characters flying out the side, coming out the ceiling, fucking taking shits in the middle of the screen, then exploding on impact. It's such a crazy game that people who don't know the gameplay look at it and say, what the fuck just happened? I feel like I just got mind-fucked watching that match. When I actually played Marvel 2 when it came out on Xbox Live, that's exactly the comments I was getting from people. They were just like, dude, you just blew my fucking mind with that match. It's just so insane what just happened. So, will it be like that? Or are they going to go back more to the one-on-one style, which if you actually played Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, you'd know that game's a lot more similar to what Marvel 1 was. Either way, I think the game will be fun. My personal desire, I guess, would probably be that it is more like Marvel 1, and the reason I say that is I liked that game a lot. I was actually one of the best in the country at pretty much the last major tournament ever held in the U.S. for it. I got 5th place. And that was against, all kinds of people from all around the world. In fact, I played a Japanese guy in that tournament and beat him. So, that game, I was one of the best, and I really liked that game. When Marvel 2 came out, it was a big change, and don't get me wrong, I did like Marvel 2 a lot, but at the same time, I kind of I wish it was a little bit more like Marvel 1, because it is a lot different. But anyway, that's about it. That covers it. I just wanted to kind of explain my feelings on the game, because everyone's been asking me. I'm pumped. I'm excited. I can't wait for it to come out. And I'm waiting to see, some more information. And I'll probably be taking some challenges. I already know that Angry Joe over at angryjoeshow.com made a whole video about Marvel 3. And he's like, oh, I want to get better. I want to beat the Nostalgia Critic at it. Man, those guys fucking suck. Are you kidding me? None of those guys are going to be any good at the game. I would love to have some of them try to fucking challenge me, and I'd whoop their fucking asses any day of the week. But we'll see what happens, right? I mean, you got to have one king of the fucking fighting games on the internet. So I'll talk to you guys later. Check out the DLC for Left 4 Dead 2, which I'm going to play right now.